And West Small would like to encourage everyone out there to keep a close eye on your personal jewelry. Now here's the second part of our interview with Police Chief Oakland Benta. Cash for gold and a failing judicial system. Those are the major concerns of our police department. Let's take a look.
My apologies to the community for the mistakes made is one that may go in deaf ears to a certain degree. But this is the Virgin Islands Police Department. We do not run the judicial end of the government. But the judicial end as well, they work within the confines of certain laws. Bail is a must. Our legislation needs to be amended. There's so many things that needs to be taking place in order to do justice. Am I fed up? Am I disgusted? Yes, I am. But we will continue to arrest them, and we continue to look at them in the face as they walk our streets when they're released again. Is it fair to you? No, it's not. Is it fair to those people who have lost loved ones? No, it's not. But it's happening. And I'm asking the general community in a sense to understand that when the police department take action in certain facets, you will hear individuals cry foul, and try to derail this very community in the sense to make you believe that everything that the police department is doing is illegal. There's a lot of abuse. Most recently, there's been complaints of police brutality. But they are not saying to you what really transpires, and eventually you find out by way of going to court and understand what really transpired. Breaking into people's home and running to the media and complaining when they know, in fact, that they did commit the crime when the officers arrest them. I stand behind all the police officers here today and making sure that they understand that their service to this community is very valuable, and they will continue to actually serve this community knowing that this chief stands behind them, toe to toe. When my officers go out there, there's something that is still in them, that they must understand that they're serving this community, and the service that they provide is one that's above and beyond. Most recently, Mali housing, where that homicide occurred. I heard members of the Frederickson community who frequent the fish market talk about they're going to find out who did this. And it's an abomination of a word from you people, especially when you already knew seconds, because these very people hang in your midst. And in some instances, they're some of your right hands, not left. I know that you know, and I am definitely saying this to you today, to those families who have lost their loved ones, if Frederick said, Christian said, and this island, that these very individuals will be placed back behind bars, even though you use them to run this street crazy by hiring their services to do these acts. And then the individuals who are buying these golds. A lot of you don't have license for this. And as a result, you've broken homes. You've caused children to leave their parents' home with their prized possessions and sell them for naught. You've caused individuals to break into other people's home to satisfy your hunger for that very thing we call gold, where they actually destroy households. That warning comes on the heel of more than one thing, that you've violated the Virgin Islands trust in the manner that you receive these items, and you have broken homes to the point where no one feels safe leaving their homes to go to work anymore.
Before we let you go, this cash for gold thing, this is not just in the Eastern Caribbean, this is worldwide. It's all over the networks and so forth. You see the commercials all over the place. But in the real world, at least in pawn shops and so forth, you have to have an ID. You have to have fingerprinting. Now, we see the tables are set all out there, Sunny Isle. They're all over the place, cash for gold. What is the law for selling gold, buying gold? Do you have to take people's ID and fingerprints?
Well, the Department of License and Consumer Affairs are actually working on something right now. A lot of these people who are out there selling or actually buying golds don't have a license to do that. And that is something that the Department of License and Consumer Affairs will be working jointly with the police department and actually looking into.
You've got people out there right now watching, I bet you, and if people get caught with stolen goods, either way, right, the people who are doing the gold, I know that's you're going to have to look at the law books and the suspects that are snatching the gold, in some instances shooting people for the gold. What are the sentences going to be?
Well, anyone caught with any item that's found to be stolen will be charged with possession of stolen property. That is the law.
Either way, even if the people are buying it from them and so
Exactly.
forth?
If you buy it, even though you paid for it, and you're in possession of it, it is a violation of the law. You're in possession of stolen property, and you will be charged accordingly.
This cash for gold thing, everyone is talking about it in the Virgin Islands right now. Does it lead to violence? It very well could. I want to thank Police Chief Oakland Benta. He's very busy for spending time to talk to News Channel 8 and give us this exclusive. There's a lot we covered today, but basically he's begging for the community's support and to get these murderers off the street. Looking at the judicial system, something definitely needs to be done. I, off the top of my head, know someone who was charged with embezzlement, and they were in jail for like 3 to 4 weeks. Never violently hurt anyone. And then you have alleged murderers out on the streets who are committing more murders. You say that is a fact, sir?
It is a fact.
It's a fact. But yet and still, what is happening to our judicial system, to our system in general? Police Chief Oakland Benta, please help us out. Crime Stoppers, 1-800-222-TIPS, 911-778-2211. You know the numbers by now. You know the drill. Police Commissioner Novell Francis, he said it pretty simply, didn't he, Chief? Either you're part of the solution or
you're part of the problem.
Thank you, sir. I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
Thanks, Wes Small and Police Chief Oakland Benta. Now here's Jamila with the bottom line.
Good night and welcome to another edition of The Bottom Line. I am Jamila Russell. Tonight I'm going to broach the topic of daycare providers needing college degrees to operate daycare centers. Initially, I was and remain to a degree a little bit skeptical about the idea. So I began to do research. The National Association for the Education of Young Children, NAEYC, defines early childhood as the period in human life from birth to age 8. According to the United States Department of Education's website, President Obama is committed to providing the support that our youngest children need to prepare to succeed later in school. The president is urging states to impose high standards across publicly funded early learning settings, develop new programs to improve opportunities and outcomes, engage parents in their child's early training at learning and development, and improve the early education workforce. While all of this is good, it raises several questions immediately. How will the daycare providers pay those teachers that have degrees and still make a profit? The cost will be passed on to the parents. And here in the Virgin Islands, where so many of us currently live from paycheck to paycheck, this undoubted rise in tuition may not be reasonable for parents. What will happen to those facilities whose owners are not financially able to afford the cost of college tuition? Will they be forced to close their doors? Another question is, are we going to burn out our children by placing them in school from such a young age? The bottom line is these questions must be answered. The Department of Human Services and the Department of Education must work together to inform the public of the changes that are being made and the reasons the changes are being made. We all want the best start, middle, and finish for our children, but we must first be certain that it's done in the right way. This has been Jamila Russell with another edition of The Bottom Line. Good night.
Thanks, Jamila Russell. And the expressions of The Bottom Line are not necessarily those of the management of WSVI TV and its paid sponsors. Stay with us on Channel 8 News. A new benefit concert for Haiti is coming up next.